News.mc on Monaco Info is brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties. Bringing you news on Monaco's economy, culture, sports and more. Welcome to News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Coming up on News.mc, discover past week's top stories and meet the people who make Monaco.
Hi, my name is Anders Kurtain. I'm the CEO of Fraser Yachts. You are watching News.mc on Monaco Info.
What's been making headline in the past week? The 13th edition of Monaco Business, the Principality's key B2B event, welcomed 50 companies for a full day of networking, innovation and economic discussion on September the 18th. His Serene Highness Prince Albert II and Christophe Meerman, Minister of State, opened the event, underlining the continued strength and resilience of Monaco's economy, highlighting a 2.3% increase in turnover despite global uncertainty. Entrepreneurs shared how local initiatives help small businesses thrive, and more established companies such as Carlo, Monaco's popular payment app, also credited the government and startup incubators like Monaco Tech for their success. Beyond business, artificial intelligence featured heavily, with panels exploring its long-term impact on the workforce and society, including the future role of universal basic income. Monaco Business once again confirmed the Principality's appeal as a hub of opportunity, supported by a government that actively nurtures growth, innovation, and international ambition. On World Cleanup Day, the 20th of September, Monaco once again took part in the global movement with a large citizen cleanup walk organised by the Town Hall and Sanitation Services. Volunteers of all ages gathered in the Condamine district to collect litter, sort it by type and weigh the results in Princess Antoinette Park. 2 routes were set up to make the event accessible to everyone. This year, 6 kilograms of household waste, 500 grams of recyclable packaging, and 750 cigarette butts were collected. A single cigarette can pollute up to 500 litres of water, a strong reminder of the importance of small everyday actions. The Monte-Carlo Philharmonic Orchestra concluded its European tour with a triumph in Bucharest on September the 20th, performing 2 concerts at the prestigious George Enescu International Festival. Led by Kazuki Yamada, the orchestra interpreted works by Enescu, Ravel and Saint-Saëns, joined by star soloists Nelson Gurner and Martha Argerich. This marked the OPMC's first participation in the renowned Romanian festival, joining elite orchestras from across Europe. Their presence also rekindled historic ties dating back to the 1990s recordings of Enescu's work. Argerich's performance, including encores with Gurner, was met with rapturous applause. Her rare post-concert interview reflected humility and deep affection for Ravel's music. Sharing the stage with conductor Charles Dutoit, her longtime collaborator, the evening closed with Ravel's Valse Noble Sentimental and Debussy's La Mer, delivering a dazzling finale to the OPMC's celebrated tour. At the United Nations headquarters in New York on September the 22nd, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II formally announced the Principality's recognition of the State of Palestine. Speaking at the high-level conference on the peaceful settlement of the Palestine question, the Prince affirmed that the Principality stood up to defend 2 inseparable rights: the right of Israel to live in peace within secure and recognized borders, and the right of the Palestinian people to a sovereign, viable and democratic state. His speech received strong applause from delegates and humanitarian groups as Monaco joined over 145 nations in extending recognition. Prince Albert II called for a balanced solution involving the release of hostages and Hamas disarmament, reaffirming Monaco's support for a negotiated 2-state approach. The declaration highlights Monaco's commitment to humanitarian diplomacy and came ahead of further high-level meetings marking the UN's 80-year anniversary. Prince Albert is expected to address the General Assembly later this week, reinforcing the Principality's role in global dialogue. Monaco continues to lead in sustainable yachting with the 5th edition of the Monaco Smart and Sustainable Marina Conference, hosted by the Yacht Club on September the 22nd. The event brought together experts, government officials, and innovators from over 15 countries to discuss environmentally responsible marina infrastructure. Backed by initiatives like the Monaco Energy Boat Challenge and CO2-focused S-Index, the Principality is positioning itself as a key global player in green yachting. Organisers stressed the need for onshore eco-solutions to match advances in clean energy boats, while highlighting Monaco's decade-long commitment to sustainability and its growing influence across the Mediterranean. After addressing the United Nations on the 22nd of September, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II was honoured at the Foreign Policy Association's annual state dinner in New York, where he received the organisation's highest distinction. Founded in 1918, the Foreign Policy Association promotes public engagement on key global issues, with this year's focus on cultural diplomacy and environmental challenges. The Prince was recognised specifically for his long-standing commitment to ocean conservation and the fight against plastic pollution. In his speech, he emphasised the need to place the oceans at the heart of global geopolitical discussions. The event gathered 160 international guests and highlighted Monaco's growing voice on sustainability and diplomacy. At the 69th Ballon d'Or ceremony in Paris, Her Serene Highness Princess Charlene took centre stage to present the Socrates Prize, a unique award that honours athletes for their social impact rather than sporting performance. Created in 2022 by L'Équipe and Peace and Sport, the prize celebrates figures who use their platform to improve lives. This year, it was awarded to the Zana Foundation, created by PSG coach Luis Enrique in memory of his late daughter. The foundation supports children suffering from serious illnesses. Princess Charlene, long involved in youth education and solidarity initiatives, was praised as the perfect choice to present the award. Alongside her, Peace and Sports Champions for Peace also attended, highlighting the growing importance of athletes who champion inclusion and social change off the field. Speaking at the opening of the 81st United Nations General Assembly in New York on the 24th of September, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II reaffirmed the Principality's deep commitment to cooperation between multiple countries to solve global challenges peacefully together. He praised the UN's historic role in promoting peace, decolonization, human rights, and environmental protection, noting that Monaco has ratified more than 270 international treaties. The sovereign called for a renewed spirit of dialogue to confront today's complex global crises, from conflicts to climate change. He ended with a message of hope, expressing Monaco's readiness to support the UN for the next 80 years and beyond. During New York's Climate Week, His Serene Highness Prince Albert II marked the launch of the UN General Assembly by ringing the Nasdaq opening bell on September the 24th and announcing a major milestone for ocean conservation. Speaking alongside Andrew Forrest of the Minderoo Foundation, the Prince celebrated a €5 million investment into the Re-Ocean Fund, part of a larger €100 million initiative backed by his foundation and Monaco Asset Management to promote the sustainable blue economy. The announcement is a strong signal of global confidence in Monaco's leadership on ocean protection. Forest's support as a prominent investor and ocean advocate brings added international credibility. The Prince also participated in multiple events focused on climate solutions, forest preservation, and melting ice, reinforcing the Principality's long-standing commitment to environmental diplomacy. Next up, our exclusive interview with the personalities making the Principality.
Hi. My name is Anders Kurtein. I'm the CEO of Fraser Yachts. I am originally from Helsinki, Finland, which is where I grew up. And I went to the English School of Helsinki, where the teachers were American Catholic nuns. So hence the slight Midwestern twang in my English, because they were from O'Fallon, Missouri. So I was very familiar with American culture, even though I didn't visit the United States until I was in my mid-20s. I have a Master's of Science from the Swedish School of Economics and Business Administration, also in Helsinki, Finland, and I majored in marketing. My grandfather had a small summer cottage in the southwestern archipelago of Finland, so I was literally carried aboard his sailing boat before I could walk, and I spent most of my childhood summers there. It's been more than a hobby, it's been really a lifestyle. So then as I moved back from New York, I worked for a while for a big multinational consulting company and didn't really particularly enjoy it, to be quite frank with you. So I jumped off the rat race for a while and went to wooden boat building school, and then I spent 2 years actually restoring wooden boats for clients, which was emotionally highly satisfying, but financially slightly less so. And then in the mid-2000s, I was recruited to run a small yard in southern Finland, building semi-custom performance sailing boats, and then it sort of rolled on the nautical path, if you will, ever since then. Fraser is one of the longest serving full-service super yacht services providers. So we do sales brokerage, which is essentially buying and selling the assets for clients. Charter, both charter retail, which, if you will, is selling the dream in bite-sized pieces of a week or 2 weeks or 4 weeks or 6 weeks at a time. So basically the foundational idea is to make super yacht ownership as easy and hassle-free as possible for the owner. And this sort of goes back all the way to 1947, when the company was founded in San Diego by David Fraser. And he had this foundation of integrity, loyalty, and trust, which still pretty much permeates the company values. So that's pretty much sort of the history. Also, once again, in a nutshell, in the elevator pitch format, if you will, like the Americans would like to say. I think we have two parallel evolutionary strains. One is definitely on the technology side. The system's complexity of a large yacht today is exponentially, infinitely more complex than it was 20 years ago. You know, the backbone of the propulsion system being the main diesel engine, and you start going to electrical engines, even if they are driven by diesel generators. You can place the generators and the battery banks. More liberty in the yacht, freeing up sort of premium social space for the designer to utilize for better purposes. And I think the pandemic, as tragic as it was on a human level, it really sort of helped accentuate what is possible on a super yacht and how special it is, the lifestyle you're living on board, the equivalent of a 7-star luxury resort, but you can wake up every day in a new epic destination of your own choice. Now, there is no other lifestyle that offers you those infinite possibilities. It's a lot of fun to be a part of the design and the execution phase. And for some owners, the minute they launch their current yacht, they already in the back of their head start planning what the next one is going to look like. Launch day is always a mixture of feelings. On one hand, you're intensely proud. On the other hand, there's this feeling of maybe almost even sadness, because you realize that this is now, finite. It's the end of this chapter. And obviously, hopefully, you're fortunate enough to have a good order stock so that you get to start the next project, which will then steer your attention to that. But it's a unique mixture of feelings, which is, it's actually hard to describe. I came to Monaco for the first time in the mid-90s as I was on a car tour of southern Europe and spent a little bit of time in southern France. I think we stayed in Menton at the time, so we did a fair amount of touring on our own here. I was impressed, blown away. The location, the facilities, the infrastructure, the beauty of the coastline by and large. And I actually at the time made a promise to myself that if I ever retire, this is the area where I will retire in. But fortunately, I'm not ready to retire yet. I was given the opportunity to live here, so I embraced it. I think out of all the sort of prime yacht clubs in the world, the clubhouse and the location, I would argue, make it #1 in the world. No other club has similar facilities. I think Monaco, by and large, obviously is the home of super yachting. And to me, generally, for any region in the world, for super yachting to thrive there, you need history, you need culture, you need infrastructure, and you need destinations. I think the events in Monaco have a very particular flavor because many of them have decades of history associated with them. And generally, I find that the mood is, by and large, pretty upbeat. It's a good, conducive environment for having serious discussions with serious potential buyers and, why not, sellers.
That's all for today. Thank you for watching News.mc, your English rendezvous on Monaco Info. Discover the full interview and more stories on our websites, News.mc and MonacoInfo.com. Next week, we will receive Patrick Vio, founder of Platinum Age Management. This show is intended to provide a summary of the past week's top stories for the English-speaking audience. For daily and real-time news updates in English, please visit News.mc and subscribe to our free daily newsletter. For French news, visit MonacoInfo.com. This show was brought to you by Monaco Legend Properties.